Ask me, it's a Tuesday filled with hope, filled with all the goodies that God has in stock for every one of us. I'm going to receive my goodies today, so I'm just expectant. So please be expectant. Welcome to the Breakfast Express show this morning on MITV Plus. My name is Tom Adirili, and I have with me Stephen. Stephen is here. Stephen, good morning. Show Rojo.
Nah, not at all. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to see you again.
And I'm sure that when I, introduced Stephen, a lot of people were expecting me to introduce Okwe first. Okwe is supposed to be on the program, but Nigeria is happening to him at the moment. Apart from the rain, there is a terrible traffic. Kara Bridge. Around this time every year, people buy their rams, and we just lose a sense of orderliness, and that has deprived our own Okwe, from coming to work, unfortunately. But I'm sure that if Okwe is watching this program, he certainly knows that he is greatly missed today, but he's stood in for me a couple of times, so I can as well do the same thing for him. Okwe, don't worry, we'll try to hold it down in your absence, and I'm sure that you will return to the breakfast table tomorrow. In the meantime, just get yourself a cup of coffee, get under your duvet, and have the best of this rainy season, at least today. Okay, so much for the pleasantries. Right now, we have an announcement of a missing person. The person whose picture, will be displayed on your screen is Mr. Olaniyi Obafemi, and he has been declared missing. Mr. Obafemi Josiah Olaniyi is a 73-year-old man with one disabled leg and suffering from memory loss. He speaks both English and Yoruba fluently. He left his home since the 10th of May 2026 for an unknown destination, and all efforts made to locate him have so far been unsuccessful. Anyone with useful information regarding his whereabouts should please contact his daughter immediately on 0708 139 9943. I'll take that again. 0708 139 9943, or report to the nearest police station. Please look out for Mr. Olaniyi. He is missing. Mr. Olaniyi has, one bad leg, as he has been described, and since he left his home, he's not returned. So please be on the lookout for him. Thank you very much. We trust Lagosians, we trust Nigerians to be their brother's keeper. All right, we'll take a quick break from Money Point, and then we will return to the Breakfast Express show. So please stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer o.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small wind where dey carry person go far.
Victor, you self go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Express show. It's time for us to look at the national dailies and see what they're serving us this morning for breakfast. I'd like to start with the Punch newspaper as usual. The above the nameplate, Fubara's exit from the governor's race aligns with peace pact, and that is coming from Wike. I would have liked to, just gloss over that, but I would like to hear your comments, Stephen, on this. What do you think?
Well, they've been at it for the longest, and
I like that phrase.
People have been speculating, that probably there's more to Fubara, to Fubara stepping down that meets the eye than just the peace pact. Right, and what should I say? Nigerian politics is Nigerian politics, but I believe with time would be, how should I say, would have more insights to what really went down.
Yeah, to what really went down. As much as Wike is trying to sound official, can you imagine Fubara's exit from the governorship race aligns with the peace pact? I mean, I've never even heard Wike speak like this, speak so calmly, officiously and everything, and make such official statements. This is not the Wike I know. So you can see that, I kind of sense, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of success, a sense of, victory, in him. When you're victorious over something, then there's a calm in you. There's this sort of calm in you. Your spirit feels, so at ease, so at peace and everything. And that's the kind of thing I'm sensing from Wike, by him making this statement, because this is not the Wike that everyone knows. If he's not fighting, he's arguing, he's cursing, he's doing something, one thing or the other, he's causing confusion here and there. These are the things that I have seen him do. Well, not initially. Initially, I was a great fan of Wike, but when he started to behave in, what I would call, an unruly kind of way. He's always at somebody's neck, and I'm just describing, the way Wike is. That's when I started to, kind of step back. Because one thing I used to admire so much about Wike is that Wike is an action person. He gets the job done. And there are times, when he was first appointed the minister of the FCT, that I visited Abuja. And this was not my conclusion or, my decision to reach. But, I heard people talk about him, talk about how efficient he was, how his, everything he did was so effective, how Abuja was being cleaned up, even the herdsmen who used to do the open grazing had been, kind of contained and curtailed, if you know what I mean. So I used to like him because I like people who have a passion for their job and who are able to deliver. But unfortunately, I mean, things started to deteriorate, especially when Fubara became the governor of Rivers State and Wike couldn't just let go. Just let go and let God. Let Fubara do his thing. Irrespective of the fact that Fubara may have stepped on Wike's, toes and all of that. They may have had an agreement that Fubara didn't pursue to the end. There may have been a lot of betrayal and all of that. Because they say that in politics there's a godfatherism thing that must be respected. I don't know about the must, but that's what I hear people say. And if Fubara didn't do that, I think that Wike should have been the greater person, by, rising above that instead of bantering, words with him back and forth and all of those things just made me just, lose it for Wike. And the icing on the cake, if you ask me, the peak of it for me was when he said that he felt like shooting a journalist. How I don't understand how any right-thinking person would say that kind of thing. Anybody who's mature as he is and who processes things before they speak, how would you talk like that? For me, that was it. If he could say that about Sheung, he could say that about you, he could say that about me. And guess what? Life is about people who like you, about people who don't, about people who will criticize you constructively, about people who will criticize you just because they don't want you to exist, about people who are vindictive. It's a potpourri, of different kind of people,
different things,
and
that's the spice of life.
Exactly.
I think what's happening with Wike is just human behavior. And there's a popular saying in politics that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So as it is happening with President Trump, I think it's happening with Wike the same way.
All right, but one is more than one. I don't
I
don't know whose is more, but we are in Nigeria. We can talk about Wike. I don't know what's informing certain decisions. That the American president is taking. I'm sure he's meeting with his his people and some people are in agreement. Anyway, so this sounds so unlike Wike, and when I said okay, he's aligning with Peace Pact. What's the Peace Pact? Your rules and regulations, your oppression. You actually oppressed the man. You pushed him. His back is up against the wall. He can't go through the wall. So of course he has to back down. Okay, still on the Punch newspaper, Eid. Federal government declares holidays and steps up security nationwide. I hope. Stephen,
I hope so.
Yesterday, I'm sorry, on Sunday when I was coming back to Ogun State, where I reside, I was telling Okwe before you came on set that there were a lot of security personnel, lined all the way from Ikoyi to Oworoshoki. And I said to myself, is the president coming to town? Because this is
preparation. It looks
like, or somebody important, or maybe the president's son, or the president's wife, or somebody, or maybe the vice president. I don't know. Something was happening. And, I'm saying that I wish this was a regular thing, for people like you and I, that we wake up in the morning, we get out on the streets, we see them.
Yes.
Battle ready, we know that, okay.
Watching, observing.
We have people, who are going to do this thing for us, in case of incasity. But that's not the case, But you see, when I see headlines like this, I just say to myself, well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that as it has been written, so shall it be.
So shall it be. That shouldn't, be.
Okay, so we have the same advertorial, from OPE on the Punch about the 1.2 10-year scholarship program with National Innovation Challenge and OPE Futures. The banner headline for the Punch newspaper: Dangote faces price war as NNPC backs fuel import. NNPC urges courts to dismiss Dangote's suit. Marketers back competition, warn against monopoly risk. Refineries say import licenses undermine local production. I would like to hear what you think about this banner headline of the of the Punch newspaper?
Yeah, the first thought that came to mind was, are we actually ready? You know, it's one thing that our refineries are not working, and it's another thing for a Nigerian to take initiative and, you know, set up this structure to make sure that we are not necessarily taking the oil out to refine and then selling back to ourselves. You know, but if the Nigerian government is looking at this, I think it would be discouraging to many other Nigerians that have the means to invest, you know, or to take such large capital investment or risk in the Nigerian economy in the nearest future.
Okay, when I looked at this banner headline, Dangote faces price war as NNPC backs fuel import, the first thing that came to my mind is, why are Nigerians like this? Why are Nigerians like this? Dangote was not in the picture at all a couple of years ago. Stephen, you can bear me witness.
Yes.
He was not in the picture at all. Everybody would associate the Dangote name with the production of cement.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, sugar.
And then Nigeria has how many refineries, and none of them is up and running. And this man sits down, you know, goes to his drawing board, gets these people together and says, you know what, you know, my country has been suffering so much for, you know, lack of functional refineries. And the people have been suffering because there is no petrol, and petrol is coming at an exorbitant price because you have to send the crude out, it has to be refined, comes back, you know, and all of that. And the man now decides to, you know, build a refinery. In having that refinery, he's even a greater employer of labor than he used to be.
Of course.
You know, he's done so much, he's invested so much. And, you know, when it started, of course, you know, NNPC came up, you know, to try to frustrate his efforts. I'm sure you know what's been going on.
Of course they would.
So that's the aspect that I am looking at, that why are Nigerians like this? Now the man has successfully been able to get it started, and, you know, he's kind of coasting, if you ask me. He's, you know, just settling in.
Down.
And then that's when NNPC starts to come up with all manner of things, anything to frustrate, you know, somebody who has a vision, somebody who's successful, somebody who's going to add value. The Nigerian system thing has eaten into certain people that they never want things to work, you know. They don't want, you know, processes and procedures to be in place such that, you know, they can work. Stephen, I don't know if you...
Of course,
you
of
want
course.
to say one or two
I
things
remember
about...
when he started the whole movement, you know, or maybe when it became obvious to Nigerians that, you know, Dangote is venturing into oil and gas. There was a lot of conversation, right? And from the looks of things, he had the support of the former President Buhari, right? And they were aware. But the funny thing is, it is now after a lot of millions has gone into the business, and most likely those millions are yet to be, you know, gained back.
Of course.
You know, his investors, his stakeholders, you know, all of those stress, just thinking about it and what will be his lot. I think it's the crab mentality at play.
Nice
you know,
nice way to describe
more
it.
more like we have been benefiting from the system, and this person, you know, all of our people or all of the benefits will be going to this person. Let's pull him down. But is that to our advantage?
Okay, if taking him to court, he's gone to court, you know,
and there's a lot, you know. Maybe viewers too have another view to it, that, oh, Dangote is this, but till we hear about it.
Dangote was my man for 2025. You know, he's added value to Nigeria. I mean, so he took them to court, and marketers are now coming to say, oh, they are in support of competition and all of that. Did you not know? It was a level playing field for everybody at the time. But nobody was ready to take the bull by the horn. Now somebody comes, takes the bull by the horn, and then you now say you want the entire bull.
And I think it's a pride for us as Nigerians that a Nigerian is actually in this. We can explain to ourselves, look at the markets, look at the production. It's easy to analyze.
Do you know that Dangote doesn't really have to do what he did?
Yeah.
He could just deal with the international world and
probably be a distributor as well.
And make much more money than he probably be making now. But that's Nigeria for you. When Nigeria happens, it happens. Okay, INEC appeals ruling voiding primaries. Federal government cancels $717 million World Bank power loan amid blackouts. Southwest insecurity. Igboho awaits federal nod to launch outfit. We talked about we talked about that yesterday.
Security, especially grassroots.
You want to say something about it?
I think it is good that the Southwest is taking proactive measures, because it is not fully blown yet in we can't say that now with Ogbomoso but and it's quite sad that till date we've not necessarily been hearing like grassroots mobilization, especially in the area of security in the north and in the north basically. But I think I like the fact that it is happening in the West, in the Southwest, and we are very vocal about it, that this is what we're going to do. We are going to empower our people. We're going to start training. We are going to start having conversations around this. And I think with what Oyo State government, did recently, plus this, I think we are heading
in the right direction. Okay, my brother's beheading haunts me daily. And this is the Oyo teacher's sibling. He actually does look so much like his brother. I wish I could do something about it. Honestly, I wish I had the physical power, to do something about it. This is such an ugly way to die. And it's something that will be, mentally tasking for the rest of the lives of the members of this family.
From the terrorist point of view, I think they did a good job, because terrorism, as we have learned, is not just to inflict pain. It is to invoke trauma, right? The students are traumatized. Those at home, those at the camp are traumatized. They will be traumatized psychologically. The parents will be traumatized. The parents that know this man will be traumatized. The school authorities will be traumatized. Fellow teachers will be traumatized. Nigerians all over the world will be traumatized. To what extent is the government traumatized? I don't know, right? But
no, the government is right now. They're busy.
I do hope so. I do hope so.
Primaries. They're busy with the primaries.
Wow.
So there's no time for thinking about whether they're traumatized or not.
Wow.
Okay, bandits kidnap Kwara monarch's family and attack police station. They never stop kidnapping. They never stop killing. They never stop abducting. That's all they do every single day. Well, that's it from the Punch newspaper right now. Let's look at the Nation.
Yeah, let's look at the Nation. On the Nation, the banner headline says INEC appeals verdict voiding timeline on party register. Electoral agency asks court for stay of execution. On the top line, we see why court favors DSS in defamatory suit against SERAP. Following that, Money Point launches 3 billion naira innovation hubs in varsities. 1.5 million pilgrims kick off Hajj on Mount Arafat. Wike knocks Fubara for picking nomination form. You'll find this on page 6. APC begins post-primary poll reconciliation. And lastly, or close to that, Nigeria, Turkey seal deal on solid minerals. At the bottom line, we see Kwara to deploy drones against bandits, terrorists, bandits and terrorists. You find this on page 28. Wednesday, Thursday are Eid holidays.
Okay, is that it from the Vanguard?
Yes, that's
From
it for the nation.
Nation is okay. I'll be looking at the Vanguard. I'll start with the above the nameplate as usual. Nigeria's GDP growth rises 3.89% in the first quarter of 2026. The banner headline: Opposition parties in disarray as factional candidates emerge. SDP, ADC, PDP caught in the web. Results of PRP ADC primaries ready today. Atiku favored to pick ADC ticket. Gets endorsement from states. Oyo school kidnap. Government under pressure as abductors demand ransom. The writer for that story is: we won't spare resources to rescue victims. That's coming from Makinde. Family of beheaded teacher demands recovery of body. If that's the best they could get, at least they should be able to release the body of this man to his family. NCAA airline operators bicker over debt. Eid al-Adha. Federal government declares Wednesday and Thursday public holidays. Pope apologizes for Vatican's role in justifying slavery. Well, I hear the new Pope, that he's really a very, considerate person, very humane, very, very gentle, very devoted, and godly. And this is a good thing, because he didn't start slavery. He probably may have been born during the time of the slave trade. But if a human being gets into a process, and you can see that the process the process had initially been corrupted, and you accept, the next thing to do is apologize, and he has done that. He had no hand in it, apparently, but he realizes that it was a wrong move. It was a very bad thing, and on behalf of the Vatican, he's
he apologized.
Yes, he apologized. Okay. I think that's it from the Vanguard newspaper. Let's look at the Daily Sun.
Right. For Daily Sun, the banner headline: tension as gunmen abduct 10 from Emir's palace in Kwara. The rider for that: Race police station. Terrorists planning attack on Northeast during Eid Kabir. Military warns. Let's talk about this, quite briefly. What do you think about this? The fact that terrorists have now started moving from just common men, from, abducting common men to barging into an emir's palace?
Well, any which way, violence, I like to disagree with violence any which way. Now, who is involved is another thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask me to analyze this, the tendency for me to sound a little bit cold, may be there, but, I would like to analyze it truthfully. You see, the thing is, all this while that bandits have been, kidnapping people who I can refer to as, the nobodies, so to speak.
In society.
I would put myself in that position as well. So it's not a derogatory statement, and neither am I trying to make it sound condescending in any way. But you know what I'm saying. People who are not politicians, who are not leaders, who are not, so let's just put ourselves and say the nobodies. Okay, when they, all the while they've been doing this, there has been delay in responding.
Response.
There has been delay in action. There has been delay in almost everything to ensure that these people come out alive, So now they have taken one step up. And you see, that's why English says nip in the bud. There's this statement, a phrase, it says nip in the bud. It has a meaning. The meaning is don't let it blossom. Don't let it come out. Don't let it spring up, just quench it there. You know what I'm saying? Before it becomes a wildfire, that little flicker of light, that little flicker of flame. That spark, let's try and see how we can, just quench it, put an end to it. But that has not been done. So you see, it's just like a little child, a 2-year-old child, throwing tantrums. And that's the thing that readily comes to mind. That's the example that readily comes to mind. And, why am I using this as an example? Because I'm leaving the example, When I had to tell my daughter a couple of days ago, I said, listen to me. If you let your son just do anything that he wants to do, you're not going to be the better for it. You need to nip it in the bud. You need to stop it now. He needs to realize that there are certain things he must not do, and there are certain things that he can do. Now, we often complain that, women often complain, oh, their husbands are this, their husbands are that. It's, I can easily break it down to you, very easily. And I'm not digressing, I'm coming back. I can break it down easily. It's because there's this natural attraction, from mothers to their sons and fathers to their daughters. And because the mother really is the one in charge of the home, the tendency for her to spoil the son is there. Do you understand what I mean? Now, that son eventually will grow up and become a nuisance to another person's child in the house. I'm not even looking at the larger society. Within the house, there are certain things the son cannot do. He says, oh, I'm the man. I didn't do it when I was growing up. I used to sit down. They used to serve me. They used to, come on, get up and, take care of your home. If your wife is cooking, then you go clean your son up. That's the way they do it now. You know what I'm saying? All of those things have made life difficult for women, especially in Africa, because the woman is expected to be the corporate person, expected to come home and be the cook, expected to be there to be the mother, expected you to be the wife. It's a whole lot. So these are the things that, if you let that child continue to do the things he wants to do, which are wrong, and you don't stop that child, the child will go to the next level. Before you know it, that child will be slapping you. I've seen a child who slapped the mom. A young boy of about 6, he slapped the mom. I had to turn away because if I had stayed there 1 second longer, I would pick that child up and give the child a good spanking and dump the child and walk away. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I'm coming back. You see, if we had been proactive, okay, perhaps this wouldn't be happening. Now, if we had also been reactive in time, in good time, perhaps it won't be getting to where it is. If we had nipped it in the bud, perhaps it won't be getting to where it is. But you know what? Now they seem to have succeeded with the nobodies. They've conquered that set of people, that team, that level of people, So it's time to move. Look, Stephen, nobody in life wants to be on the same level.
Of course. You
understand? You always want to move to the next level. And I think that's what's playing out.
Well, let's just hope that it's this action or this act will help government see the importance of security in the states or in Nigeria as a whole. Other headlines there, other stories on the headline: INEC appeals election guidelines, 6 stay of execution. You find this on page 6.
Anything to do with INEC, I don't think it's worth discussing for now. Let's just move on.
Celebration at Unilag. as UBA unveils Innovation Hub. You'll find this on page 2. Wike slams Fubara for seeking second term, says form collection broke impeachment truce. Right under that says remodeling of Abuja City Gate, brainchild of First Lady. AON denies owing cost recovery charges to NCAA. Wants regulator to commence direct collection of TSC from June 1st, 2026. Security risk. Presidency urges temporary suspension of Orioke prayers in Kwara, Kogi. Wow.
Well, I guess it's a fallout of what
Yes, happened.
Yeah, about 3 days ago.
And lastly, Ojukwu didn't reject peace deal in 1967. Igbo Forum faults go on. You find this story on page 20, page 27. I think that's all for the Daily Sun.
Okay, and finally, the Nigerian Tribune. We're looking at the above the nameplate. INEC appeals election guidelines and judgment. 6 stay of execution. Some people feel that INEC has been compromised and it's not worth discussing anymore. We've discussed a whole lot of INEC. All right, Nigeria's GDP growth rate slows to 3.89%, and that's coming from NBS. Bandits invade Kwara community and raise Emir's palace and abduct 10. That's quite unfortunate, and we hope that the people who have been abducted will be found along with all the others, the Oyo, all the others. I hope that government would know to do well now, to go to look for its people wherever they are. And the entire front page of the Nigerian Tribune has, of course, we said it yesterday, Tom Polo, his company, Tantita Security Services. You know, the print,
yes,
the eyes look like the T's. And yeah. Okay. Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited, a toast to President Tinubu, who the cap fits. All right, that brings us to the end of the newspaper review. We have seen what the newspapers have served this morning for breakfast, quite interesting. And we have been able to pick one or two of these headlines to discuss on the breakfast show this morning. Right now, we'll take a break. I'm sure Stephen would like to drink some water.
Yeah.
So we'll take another break, and then when we return, we'll be going to our discussion segment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches on 4 dedicated channels, live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
Welcome back. Well, if there's one place you can get wise words, wise sayings, and Chinese proverbs and all sorts of things, admonitions and words of encouragement, it's on the Breakfast Express show. I hope you enjoyed that break. Well, welcome back, and over to you, Stephen.
All right, still talking politics. We have this package for you. Please stay with us.
President Bola Tinubu has secured the presidential ticket of the All Progressive Congress after polling 10,999,162 votes in the party's nationwide primary election. The result was announced in Abuja by Chairman of the APC Presidential Election Committee, Senator Ayim Pius Ayim, who said the exercise complied with electoral laws, INEC guidelines, and the APC constitution. President Tinubu received the party's certificate of return and symbolic flag at the International Conference Center, where party leaders, governors, lawmakers, and supporters gathered for the official declaration.
The party members across the country, they've spoken loud and clear. Today we're presenting to you the flag and certificate of return. The flag is not a symbol of the party alone. It's a symbol of hope of millions of Nigerians, not just party members alone, from ordinary farmers, like in my village in Dungun, that is not known to anybody. These farmers, their hope today is renewed. To traders in Lagos, Kano, or the streets of Maiduguri and other places, today, their hope is also looking up to you.
In his acceptance speech, the president thanked the party members for renewing his mandate and promised to consolidate economic reforms and accelerate national development. He highlighted achievements recorded by his administration in the areas of education, power supply, infrastructure, and economic reforms, including the student loan scheme, metering initiative, and increased power generation.
Today I return as your incumbent president, humbled by your enduring support, encouraged by your continued confidence, and imbued with renewed passion for the task ahead.
Further highlighting on infrastructure, the president said his administration is constructing durable roads, upgrading airports and seaports, and reviving the oil and gas sector. He, however, acknowledged ongoing security challenges across parts of the country and assured Nigerians that restoring peace and protecting lives remain top priorities of his administration.
This is politics in earnest. This is where we want Nigeria. United, happy, facing one direction of hope, prosperity, and joy. It is our time to dream and work hard. I thank the leadership.
The APC presidential primary recorded over 11 million accredited voters across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, with President Tinubu defeating his only challenger, Stanley Osifo, ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Folashade Abdusalami, MITV Plus News.
You're welcome back to the Breakfast Express. Stephen, you heard the president speak, he's thanking the people, and he's also, standing on the mandate. This mandate, they've been standing on it, and the mandate has not given way yet. All right, and the president is, talking about, promising, better power supply. He's saying that infrastructure, would be a continuous thing.
Yes,
in terms of
progress.
The growth. Talking about the roads that they've started. They'll bring them to completion, and then start new roads and all of that. He talked about student loans, and so on and so forth. He talked quite a bit. In that report. I don't know. I really don't know how you see all these promises
I think
the president has given.
I think his emergence as the APC flag bearer, and from these words of encouragement and words of hope that the president has said, is to help Nigerians look forward to a better Nigeria, where the economic reforms and all the good work he has started would start yielding good, tangible results.
Well, is that all you? Is that what you want to say?
Yes, that's
okay. For now.
Okay.
Well, Stephen, you're a man of very few words. And,
I try my best.
And you're a man who just appreciates anything, no matter no matter what it is. The president continuing his good works. Yes, the president has done, a lot of good things. If there's one good thing the president that I know and I feel that the president has done, when I say feel, not because, it's not, I'm not paying lip service now. When I say I feel, I actually feel it, I experience it. The fact that the Naira is, the exchange rate is more stable now. There was a time it used to go up,
every week,
by the second.
day.
It was going up by the second. So that has been, that has normalized now. It's stabilized, and kudos to our president. But I see Stephen as that man who's easily satisfied, because he really didn't have anything to say. I would be looking at these promises, and I'll be saying yet again, there's absolutely nothing wrong in making promises, but when you make a promise, I think that you should endeavor to fulfill that promise. And, Nigerians, like I always say, are a very intelligent set of people. They have now taken out all the president's promises, in his first term.
The
first 4 years, even though we've not completed the 4 years. They have analyzed it. I was reading a document, and you sent that same document to me. I was reading that document and how Nigerians have actually sat down, brought out everything that he said he was going to do for Nigerians. How far into that list, or those promises has he gone? So that's, for me, that's the challenge. For me, that's the fear. The first 4 years have gone, and I, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, and if I say it in my opinion, they say he who feels it knows it. So perhaps I'm just talking the way I feel, or what I've from it's like an outfall of the things I've felt. I would say the president perhaps may have achieved like 20% or maybe 30% max, of the 100% that he promised. So when he now brings these things again, now this student loan thing, I went to try to do an investigation, And a lot of how many of us get the student loan? We don't get it. It's just a group of people that get it, and this group are brought to the fore to talk about it, to publicize it, and all of that. So it's not something that that anybody, any student can get just like that. So you really don't know what to believe. So all these things, when he highlights all these things, especially power supply, for me, that is important. Security, health. What is he doing about these things? What has he done? What did he say he was going to do? Let's put all these things side by side. The things that he's supposed to have done, the things that he has done, and the things that he is doing. And then we can now match it against the things he says he will do, in my opinion. You see, because if we just take hook, line, and sinker what the president is saying now, then there must be something wrong with us. You must ask questions. Stephen, I ask you questions. You ask me questions. People ask questions because they need answers.
And clarification.
And clarification. That's the word I was looking for. They need answers and clarification, and, to be able to help them, make decisions, and do a lot of other things. So we need to be asking our president questions. All these monies and loans that you've been borrowing, what have they been spent on? All the money Nigeria has made, where has it gone? There's so many questions we need to ask the president, and he is not even focusing on them. He's not even telling us.
If I'm permitted to say,
the floor is open for you, Stephen. You can talk anytime.
I see the current state of Nigeria now. It has moved beyond just talking, because there is a polarization of people. There's a polarization of people that are critical of the president, and there is also a polarization of people that are in support of the president's achievements. And this is what I would say. Basically, both sides are right until the result of the 2027 election is announced. So President Tinubu has tried, President Tinubu has done nothing. Both are correct until the result of the 2027 election is announced, because that is your power, that is your vote, right? And there's no better communication to say the president has done well or is lagging in some areas. For me, that is it. I believe strongly that the president has done well, the president has done little than he promised. Speak with your vote.
Speak with your vote, but don't forget that there's a lot in the president's favor. Right now, power of incumbency, we can never rule that out. Because President Goodluck Jonathan did not retain his position as president, does not mean that the power of incumbency does not work. He decided to opt out on his own. But you know that when one is in power, there's so much that you can do to swing things in your favor. And I'm not saying the president is going to do that. I'm not saying he's done that. I'm not saying he's planning to do that. I'm not saying he will do that. But I'm saying that there is, there's this window, that can enhance, everything and anything. Okay. It's time for us to move to the next discussion. So we know that Ebola is in Central Africa. We all know that. Ebola outbreak in Central Africa. Lagos reassures residents of close monitoring. And this is what we talk about when we say be proactive. I remember in whose administration was it when Ebola broke out? Was it in Governor Fashola's, under his administration, or was it Governor Ambode?
Maybe Fashola or
maybe Ambode or Fashola. I can't remember now. You know, Ebola broke in Lagos, but was very quickly contained because we were proactive. Nobody ever knows. Nobody ever knew that it was going to get here. But I'm trying to remember her name, Adadevo, Dr. Adadevo of blessed memory.
Yeah.
You know, she took the bullet. She took the bullet. And honestly, I think this woman should just be immortalized everywhere in Nigeria because she took the bullet. And she was the one who quickly identified that it was Ebola, you know, and they were able to contain it. The Lagos state government swung into swift action, you know, and that's how we didn't lose
a lot of people
from Ebola. Over the evolving Ebola outbreak in Central and East Africa, then we can say thumbs up to him. Besides, the state's robust and tested biosecurity architecture remains fully activated and prepared to detect, contain, and respond rapidly to any biological threat. Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, has closely monitoring developments surrounding the outbreak, which has so far recorded approximately 177 deaths from nearly 700 suspected. The World Health Organization, WHO, has declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern, owing largely to the difficult terrain in the affected areas, which may challenge local and international public health response efforts. Professor Abayomi, on behalf of the leadership of the Ministry of Health, reassures Lagos residents that as of now, no case suggestive of Ebola virus disease has been identified within Lagos State. Lagos has over the years built a resilient and outbreak-tested biosecurity system designed for continuous year-round. It's always a delight and always a pleasure to see people who are passionate, you know, with what they do and at what they do, you know, who are dedicated, who are, you know, who are loyal, who are, you know, who would always stand up to the challenge. You know, when I see people like this, you know, I doff my hat for them and I say, well done. And we hope, you know, that other states will take a cue from this and swing into action. Because you see, Nigerians, you know, they migrate like there's no tomorrow. You know, one minute you see somebody here in Ikeja, the next minute you see that same person in Oyo State the same day. And that's how we move. That's how we roll in Nigeria. So I believe that governors from other states should do the same, should take a cue from Lagos State and do something, you know, to protect
the people. It's important that, you know, government is proactive. It's also important that people are also proactive. Now you know that Ebola cases has been cited in, you know, some countries in the in Africa. You know, people traveling to countries within this region should also be at alert and, you know, be open to, you know, take tests where necessary. Abayomi advised residents, particularly those who traveled to affected areas in Congo or Uganda, or who have had close contacts with individuals returning from those countries, to promptly seek guidance through emergency channels. Residents are encouraged to contact emergency numbers 767 112 or the Director of Epidemiology, Biosecurity and Global Health, Lagos State Ministry of Health, on 080-231-69485. I'll take that once again, 080-231-69485 for necessary assistance and information. I love the fact that, you know, the government have started creating awareness, because if this virus would if we would experience, God forbid, if we would experience an outbreak in Lagos State, it is not just going to be flying in the air. It will be people who have visited these countries that will come back, hug their loved ones, shake their business partners, and before you know it, it would spread. So I think it's beautiful that we are seeing people take on this initiative, get aware, start learning about Ebola and report when they see cases or strange occurrences.
Yes, talking about preparedness, the fact that we even already have emergency numbers, and we're already starting to put those numbers out there. The Lagos State Ministry of Health is putting those numbers out there. Now, let me tell you something about leadership. You see, if a leader is not good, is not competent, then you realize that the members of his team would not be competent.
Yeah. The laxity would.
There would, a lot of, indiscipline would be tolerated and so on and so forth. But you see, the commissioners have to step up to the game of the governor. They don't have a choice, you see, because the governor is going to ask them, what are you doing?
Of course.
There are timelines, there are deadlines, they have targets to meet. And I'm sure that when they have their meetings, the governor will say, so, Commissioner for Health, what are you doing? What have you done? I hope you know that Ebola is out. How prepared are you? Let's do this, let's do it. So, little wonder that the commissioner himself is stepping up to the game. I remember, let's cast our minds back to COVID, when COVID broke out in Nigeria. It was really, really tough. First of all, for people to accept, to leave the COVID rules, wash your hands,
maintain the
distance, use the mask and everything, was a huge problem. First of all, people did not believe that COVID existed. So that was the greatest problem. And, for those who accepted that it existed, it was a problem for them to leave the rules of COVID, especially use the mask. When I go out to public places and I see people sneezing and coughing, they don't even have masks close to them. They don't even cover their mouths and everything. I really used to feel so offended, because in my mind it was like, how can I be taking all the necessary precautionary measures, and some people will just be spreading these things
nonchalant,
and then when you try to school them, to tell them that you need to cover your mouth when you're coughing, you need to use your mask and everything, it was a huge problem, Stephen, especially when you go to the market. And we had to go to the market to buy food, so we need to go on a massive campaign. A massive campaign for Ebola. Ebola is real. It is killing people in Congo and Uganda. Like these figures, for me, I'm not too sure, because the last I watched, the numbers were higher. Yes. So we need to be serious about it. Ebola is not, in fact, Ebola is, for me, in my opinion, it kills even faster than COVID. COVID gives
like
a longer window. You understand? But Ebola is not playing. So I'm glad that the Lagos State government is doing something, and I hope that the Ogun State government will take a cue from that, and on, all the other state governors.
I really do wish this campaign also goes to schools, because young children, especially boarding schools, the last case of Ebola, there was an outbreak in a particular boarding school that I'm aware of, and some students did, lose their lives. So the burden on teachers, on the morale of learning can, be a lot, So let's do well to take this knowledge. Let's take it to the schools. Let's take it to the. Can we still take? Do we still?
Yes,
have
I
time
was just going to say
calls?
that we can. The people should join us in this conversation. Let's hear what you think about Ebola. Let's hear what preparations you're making, just to keep your family safe. And the number to reach us on is 0707 3800959. I'll take that again. 0707 3800959. And guess what? The number is displayed on the screen. We want you to please be part of this this program. Give us your observations, your comments, and let us know how prepared you are, for Ebola if it comes to Nigeria. They say, you should always be proactive.
Always be ready.
When you were talking about, Stephen, when you were talking about the schools.
Yes, ma'am.
My heart just, skipped a bit, because that's the one place that that is likely to spread.
It's just,
it's likely to spread because, especially if it's the younger set of children, it's so difficult because they are children. They're nothing else but children. They will play. And I want to digress a bit, but there's some information I just, we learn every day.
Every day.
I learned something today, and I said today on this table, if I was looking forward to seeing Okwe, so that I would tell that, Okwe, guess what I learned today? But I'm just going to share it at once, since we're talking about health. My daughter has a 3 months plus old baby, and she has resumed work. So luckily in her office, they have a creche upstairs. So she drops her daughter in the creche. Yesterday, I noticed the daughter was coughing, and I told her that it looks like your daughter is coughing. She checked her chest and everything, and she said she doesn't think she has muco, and that's fine. So this morning, she heard the baby cough herself when I was giving the baby a bath. And she came to me. Oh, we already have a caller. Let's take that call first. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast Show. What's your name and where are you calling from? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. I need to increase the volume.
Volume.
Yes. Hello, can you speak a little louder? We can't hear you. You need to speak louder. This phone is on
speaker.
Is already on speaker, and we still can't hear you.
Okay.
Well, the lines are open. Please make your calls and let's hear you make your contribution. Okay, so yes, I was saying, so when she heard her daughter cough, she came to me and she put her face in her daughter's face. And she said she wants her daughter to cough into her face. And I'm looking at, I don't understand. We're supposed to be running away from this thing. Why is she putting, she said she needs to get that, she needs to get it so that she can produce antibodies to help the daughter fight against the cough.
Interesting.
I didn't know that because she's a medical doctor. Immediately she heard the girl cough. She came, she bent down, she said, cough again. She was talking to the baby. She said, cough again. I need you to cough so I can produce antibodies for you. So if she coughs in her mother's face, then the mother is able to get, whatever it is that she has. And then her own body, the mother's body, will produce antibodies, which the baby will take through the breast milk to help the baby fight whatever it is.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, wow. So this is something I said I would share on the program, for, a lot of upcoming mothers and a lot of, nursing mothers to be, grandmothers, and, our young men, so when your wife, when you get married, you should learn, I was going to tell Okwe, you need to learn this. So if your child has whatever it is, you go into your child's face and you take some of it and give it as soldiers back to the child.
But only mothers will be able to produce that.
Yes, only mothers, because because the mothers are the ones that do the breastfeeding. So yeah, it's such a wonderful thing. We have a caller on the line. Let's see who this is. Good morning. Oh my, we lost it. Please just keep the calls coming. We have a little 7 minutes to spare.
To go.
So let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. We can't hear you again. Oh, the call has ended.
Okay.
Oh, so sad. So sad.
Yeah.
So sad. Okay, so back to but you want to say something?
Yeah,
please go ahead.
I was about saying something about, the schools, and I think you made mention about COVID. I think one of the things that the awareness achieved was, once upon a time people would just cough in your faces, but now it has been a long time I experienced that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the buses. You want to cough, courtesy, or people just bend away rather than just doing it in
openly.
Yes. So I think awareness going down into the grassroots will go a long way in changing our behavior.
And by the way, it's high time all these people who earn salaries, and really don't have, much to do. It's high time they start to go to work, start to work, earn the salary that they're paid, by working. Because these advocacy, what do you call them, agencies and all of that, they really don't have too much work to do, and it's time for them to step up their game
and engage.
Yes, it's really time. I'm serious about
was the National Orientation Agency.
That's exactly where I'm going.
So get to work. Let's see you in the streets.
That's
Let's
exactly
see
where
you
I'm
around.
going. Yeah, they need to get to work.
Quickly, let me mention this for our Muslim faithfuls and beautiful children all over Lagos State. We have something very special happening right here at MITV Plus tomorrow, and we want your children to be part of it. MITV Plus and Star Plus 101.5 FM are hosting a 2026 Children's Day celebration right here at the MITV complex in Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos. This Wednesday, May 27th, from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. We are giving children an open mic to celebrate their day, their voices, their energy, their joy, right here on your screens and on air. It is strictly by registration, so do not wait. Send a WhatsApp message to 0818-696-7437. I take that again. 0818-696-7437 or 08028579728. I'll take that again. 0802-857-9728 to secure your child's spot. Remember, spaces are limited.
Okay, Stephen has said it all, spaces are limited. And, one thing, let me rephrase it. A group of people that we do not play with, we don't play with. And I'm taking it again, we don't play with. Here, in MITV Plus, and Star Plus, are children. Children, we are particular about children. We celebrate them. We look out for them. We show them love in every way that we can, because we realize that children are the future leaders of tomorrow. They will be the ones who would sit in our positions and take the lead. They will be the ones who would come up with all sorts of, innovations, all sorts of good things. We need to take care of them. We also know that children, don't really have a voice per se, because, especially in this environment, because, we have this parents-children thing where we we boss and downplay.
Yeah, and dismiss.
Yes, and dismiss our children. So we want to give them a voice on MITV Plus and Star Plus. We want them to take the mics. We want them to have that experience. We want them to write it down with a golden pen. We want it to go down in history that they did come and they experienced, the kind of things that we are doing right here, right now. We want them to feel happy. I think we have a call. Let's see if we can just accommodate this call before we leave. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast Express show. What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Elder Engineer Ochi.
Welcome.
I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Wow, Port Harcourt. You want to tell us what's happening in Port Harcourt because we don't understand what's going on. I was just kidding. Anyway, just make your contribution quickly because we don't have too much time.
Okay, I'm just concerned with your illustration of your daughter and your grandchild.
Yeah.
Your grandchild. Tell us what's happening in Port Harcourt because we don't understand what's going on. I just kidding. Anyway, just make your contribution.
Oh my. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Can you reduce the volume of your television set because it's giving us a hall back, it's giving us an echo and it's repeating what we are just saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you hear me right?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. I'm saying that the illustration you gave concerning your grandchild cough and your daughter's coming as a doctor to tell him or her that you want her to cough on her face.
Yes.
Please, I would like this to be made public because how do I mean? So that you can go to TikTok and express this because TikTok is where people normally get information. Because television is not very just that I'm a retired man. I just sat this morning telling me just watch what people are doing. I don't think that every young parents that can sit as I've seen, because I'm a retired man, sit as I've seen to hear what you are saying. So I don't know if it is possible for your daughter, who is a doctor, to go to TikTok to make us know about this. Because I'm hearing it for the first time. I'm 68 years, getting to 70. I'm a grandfather, and this is the first time I'm hearing this. And technology improves every other time, every other moment as we go on. So it is good for her to go to TikTok and give this to people who will make use of it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for that awesome contribution. I will speak to her. I will tell her. I don't know if she will want to go on TikTok, herself, but I'm sure she will find the means to communicate this through social media to the younger generation, which is your concern. And I thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for your call. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Right on a good note. We are closing on a good note this morning. All right. It's been an awesome time, today. And on that note, everyone here on MITV and Star Plus 101.5 to all our Muslim brothers and sisters marking this season, we wish you a blessed and joyful Eid al-Adha. May this celebration bring peace, may it bring gratitude, may it bring happiness to your homes and your families. Have a wonderful morning, and of course we hope to see you again tomorrow. Stephen,
yes.
You want to say your goodbyes?
I will come into work, but I've already booked some spots around Lagos State. I will be visiting my friends to feast. So it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful day. And we do wish you all a happy celebration.
And I can already see that very big fat cow that Muri
Oh, okay.
is going to serve to the staff, you know, the fried meat. I can see everything, and in advance.
In advance.
In advance, I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you, and to the management staff of MITV Plus, we'd like to say thank you in advance for all the hospitality that's about to come. All right, before we round up, please do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at MITV Plus on Facebook, at MITV Plus _NG on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can also watch our programs live on YouTube at MITV Plus _NG. Please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons. Well, from me, I always say to you before I leave, please go and stand in front of a mirror. Take a thorough look at yourself. Look at your inside and your outside. Is there anything you need to change? Please change it ASAP so that we can make the world a better place. That's what Michael Jackson said, and that's what I stand by. That's what I profess every day. All right, my name is Tonwa Derele. It's been a great pleasure being here this morning. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and we will be talking tomorrow when you come. And of course, we'll be giving the children, you know, their day very soon. So,
yes,
you know, just keep, you know, tuning into MITV Plus. And to our star grandpa that called us, we'd like to say thank you. Thank you so much, Elder, and God bless you. We hope to see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a wonderful day.